Full story, my boss fired me from my job, but I got revenge in the best way possible. I was hired as a content creator for a university that wanted to leverage YouTube to kickstart their branding campaign. The pay was low, roughly $2,200 USD, and in those days, there were not that many video content creators around, and the process usually took a long time from start to finish. I was hired, and on my second day, my manager presented my KPI of 85 3 to 10-minute videos in 52 weeks, which was impossible for a one-man team in those days. This meant I had to do the scripting, producing, casting talents, shooting videos, composing music. They were too cheap to pay for a royalty-free music subscription, and editing, all of which I had to use my own equipment and software because their cameras and computers were so old, they simply couldn't handle the strain of even doing things in 720p, much less 1080p. I tried to let my manager know, but she just smiled encouragingly, telling me to give it a try, assuring me if the videos were good, the quantity would not be what she focused on. Hearing this, I agreed to give it a try. My manager treated me well in the first month. However, one day when she found out I was a smoker, her attitude changed overnight. A colleague had actually done a facepalm when I told her about it, and she let me know that the manager hated smokers and often advocated to get them fired. She started nitpicking me on everything from smelling like cigarette smoke after my breaks coming in, 5-10 minutes late despite doing more than 4 hours of overtime daily, not being contactable during break times, the list goes on. But I soldiered on because I just wanted to do the work and do it well. 5 months in, I was called into the director's office where I saw my manager putting on her best, displeased but gleeful face, and I felt my stomach drop. The director told me that she was disappointed because she had heard that I was falling behind on my work, and it was already halfway through the year, and I had only completed 30 out of my 85 videos. I tried to explain that I had been working my butt off on these videos. I literally worked 6 days out of the week, over 60 hours, just to do what needed to be done, and that being a one-man army made things impossible, and also the fact that the videos I had put up grossed the highest views ever on their YouTube page. I also recounted how my manager said that she was looking for quality videos over quantity. The director dismissed this and stated that the KPI was simply 85 videos in a year, and since it was almost half a year in with my numbers at less than half, she felt it prudent to cut the cord early. I asked how would they even meet the KPI if they were to fire me now. My manager had snorted, saying, "We'll find a professional production house to finish your work." The director had given her an odd look, but nodded in her support, nonetheless, telling me, "You don't need to worry, manager will get the job done." That was when a light bulb went off in my head. Seeing as I was the content professional in the office, one of my jobs was to keep a database of production houses to use in the event we needed to do a shoot that required more resources, and I was sure that they would be using the production houses in my database as my manager had no contacts in the production industry. So I changed the contact numbers and messed up all the emails on all of the entries except one. The one I had a friend working as a junior director, not an assistant director, but a director assigned to smaller video projects. I gave him a call and told him of my plan, and sure enough, within 2 days they were called to come in to pitch. I told him that I had a plan that was a win-win for us. It would instantly help him and put him on the fast track to a director position by bringing in that much business to his production house, and it would also benefit me financially. I would teach him exactly how to pitch to win over the boss and the director, and in turn, his company would pay me a standard finder's fee of 15. He agreed instantly and immediately put me on the line with his general manager, who, upon realizing this was to be 6 months of work for a high 6-digit payout, instantly agreed and drew up a contract. As it turns out, after I gave them a metaphorical step-by-step playbook, they were the perfect fit. Somehow understanding the needs and style of the university, as well as the sort of themes the university wanted to feature, the director and my former boss were amazed that my friend's production house was so familiar with their content that they signed them up on the spot. Now, even back then, using a production house back then was not cheap. Each video that they produced could cost double to triple my monthly salary, given that they had specialized people for each function: producer, director, director of photography, gaffer, sound person, video editor, assistant director, production assistants, etc. But this meant that they could complete a video every 2-3 days. So yes, they produced 50 videos in a span of 4 months for over 100 months of my salary, and I sat back and collected the healthy 15, which was about 15 months of my salary. This allowed me to put money aside for a holiday and the rest to further my studies with a respected film school overseas. I thought my plan ended here and I had gotten back at my former bosses, but to my surprise, I received a call from my colleague while I was holidaying in Bali one day. This was the same colleague who had facepalmed when I told her that my manager had found out that I was a smoker. She told me that my former manager had been fired and my director given a massive blasting by the chancellor of the university. The content creation project, which I was hired for, was only given a budget equating to about 1.5 years of my salary, and they had exceeded that budget by over 10 times. My former manager was so desperate to ensure that her content creation project could be completed that she had thrown caution to the wind, paying anything to get the job done so that she could show my director that she had completed the project and had approved the massive massive spend without getting consent from the director. So that is how I got my friend a super fast promotion to a full director in his production house and a year of pay after getting unfairly fired from my job. But this was not the end of the story. After I returned from Bali, I decided to further investigate what had happened in my absence. It turned out that the university had faced a severe budget shortfall because of the overspending on the video project. The chancellor was livid because not only had the project cost 10 times the allocated budget, but the funds had to be pulled from other critical areas of the university, including academic programs and maintenance. The fallout was severe. My former manager was blacklisted from working in any reputable institution within the region, and she had to take up a job in a much smaller company with a significant pay cut. The director who had initially supported my manager's decision was put on probation and eventually demoted when it was revealed that she had ignored several warnings about the budget from the finance departments. Meanwhile, my friend's production house flourished. The success of the university project brought in more clients and projects, leading to rapid growth and expansion. He didn't forget the favor I did for him and continued to send freelance work my way whenever he could. This freelance work allowed me to build a robust portfolio and network within the industry. By the time I graduated from film school, I had a steady stream of projects lined up thanks to the connections I had made through my friend's production house. This experience taught me a lot about the importance of networking and seizing opportunities when they arise, and it reinforced my belief in standing up for myself and finding creative solutions to difficult problems. In the end, what started as a seemingly unfair situation turned out to be a pivotal moment in my career. It taught me resilience and the value of strategic thinking. More importantly, it showed me that sometimes the best revenge is not in causing harm, but in creating opportunities for oneself and others. This experience has stayed with me throughout my career, reminding me to always look for the silver lining and to never underestimate the power of a well-executed plan. The lessons I learned from this experience have shaped the way I approach challenges and opportunities, making me a better professional and a stronger person overall. So while my time at the university was short and filled with challenges, it ultimately led to greater opportunities and successes. It was a classic case of turning lemons into lemonade, and I couldn't be more grateful for how things turned out. In hindsight, I can see that getting fired from that job was one of the best things that ever happened to me. It pushed me out of my comfort zone and forced me to take risks that I might not have otherwise taken, and for that I am forever thankful. Years later, I look back at this experience with a sense of pride and accomplishment. It was a turning point that set me on a path to success and fulfillment. It taught me to always be prepared to pivot and adapt to changing circumstances, and it reinforced the importance of maintaining a positive attitude even in the face of adversity. This story is a reminder that every setback is an opportunity in disguise, and with the right mindset and approach, you can turn any situation to your advantage. And so my journey continued building on the lessons learned from this pivotal experience. I went on to achieve greater heights in my career, always carrying with me the knowledge and wisdom gained from my time at the university. I hope that my story serves as an inspiration to others who may find themselves in similar situations, reminding them that with perseverance, creativity, and a little bit of cunning, they too can overcome obstacles and achieve their goals. But the lessons didn't end there. Over the next few years, I made it a point to stay connected with my former colleagues, especially the ones who had supported me during my time at the university. This network proved invaluable, as it provided me with insights and opportunities that I would have otherwise missed. One such opportunity came when a major tech company reached out to me for a consulting role. They had heard about my successful stint at the university and were impressed by my ability to manage and execute large-scale video projects. They offered me a position that not only paid well, but also gave me the creative freedom I had always desired. In this new role, I was responsible for leading a team of content creators to develop a series of educational videos for their online learning platform. The project was ambitious, requiring a blend of creativity, technical skills, and strategic planning. Drawing from my experience at the university, I was able to assemble a talented team, and together we created a series of videos that received widespread acclaim. The success of this project further solidified my reputation in the industry and opened doors to even more exciting opportunities. As my career progressed, I never forgot the lessons learned from my time at the university. I made it a point to mentor young professionals, helping them navigate the challenges of the industry and encouraging them to take risks and think outside the box. I shared my story with them, hoping to inspire and motivate them to persevere through their own struggles. Looking back, I realized that the challenges I faced at the university were a blessing in disguise. They forced me to push my limits and think creatively, which ultimately led to my success. The experience taught me the importance of resilience, adaptability, and strategic thinking, qualities that have been instrumental in my career growth. In the end, I am grateful for the journey and the lessons it taught me.